So what is the application of concrete? Concrete is being used for many applications, and it's obvious that you can see concrete everywhere. Concrete is being used for the production of towers, for building, for bridges, parking structures, stadium, tanks, etc. So we have many applications. Where do we normally use the concrete? We use the concrete in the production of bridges, transportation. We use the concrete in the building dams. We use the concrete in the structure. We use the concrete in the residential or high-rise building. We use the concrete in the airports also, and also in tunnels. So concrete is being used everywhere. We will have a look on what makes concrete different than any other construction material and why it is the second most widely used material, which are around, as we mentioned before, almost 5 billion tons concrete is being used annually. This number actually reflects how significant is this material and how important to know what is concrete, what is the science behind concrete, and the concrete ingredient, etc. So we need to know this information because the concrete is being used everywhere. Here is a sample of the application. Where do we normally use the concrete? Dams, structure, residential, high-rise building, in the airport, in the tunnel, and everywhere. So what makes concrete different than any other types of material, or what is significant about concrete? What makes concrete special than any other construction material? Why? First, because concrete can be designed to a desired strength. We can design a concrete for whatever compressive strength we need with the same basic material, which is cement, aggregate, and water. With cement, aggregate, water, we can do calculation process in order to get the mixed proportion or the ratio between these three main materials to get whatever strength you want. I might need strength of, for example, 30 megapascal. From the same raw material, cement, aggregate, and water, with different ratio, I cannot design a concrete with 40 megapascal, as example. With the same material, I can also design a concrete with 50 megapascal. So it can be designed to a desired strength. Whatever strength you need for your application, you can design the concrete with the same ingredient. It can be prepared to a required workability. We'll go further in the workability. We'll discuss what do we mean by workability in the fresh property of the concrete. But in general, what makes concrete different than any other, or the advantages of the concrete, in addition to you can design it to different strength, you can also control the workability of the concrete. It can be enhanced by using other material. Other material, in other words, is the admixtures, that what we have discussed just now, the admixtures, the extra material. So you might also use extra material. We call it admixtures. We have mineral admixtures, we have chemical admixtures. Actually, we have 1,000 types of admixtures for different purposes. It can be either for improving the workability, to improve the strength, improve durability. So different purposes, different products, and it also can be enhanced. It gives additional advantages to the concrete. The compressive strength of the concrete is high. That's also one of the reasons that makes why do we normally use the concrete. And we know that the compressive strength is very important property for the structure. So concrete has a good compressive strength to handle the load on the structure. Workmanship is cheaper comparing to the other construction or structural type. It is relatively cheap, the workmanship. It's also can be friendly to the environment. Cheapest and most available material on site. As we said before, concrete is made of cement, aggregate, and water. All this material is available everywhere. You can find cement, you can find sand everywhere, you can find gravel, the same as for the water. That makes the concrete important, that makes the concrete special and the most widely used material. It can be formed in different shapes and sizes. You can just do whatever size, the mold, design the mold with whatever size you want, whatever shape, then you cast the concrete, and at the end of the day, you will get the same shape or the same size you want. Protection of reinforcing steel from corrosion. You know, the steel structure, or sorry, the concrete structure, it has also steel bars inside the concrete. And one of the most important for the structure is to protect the steel bars from corrosion. So concrete is act like protection from the penetration of the water inside the concrete. So we are trying to avoid the penetration of the water to go inside and reach to the steel bars. If the water reach to the steel bars inside the concrete, and when the steel bars get in touch with water, then corrosion will start, and this will be the beginning of the structure failure. So one of the advantages of the concrete, that the concrete has a good resistance to the water. It can block the water to go inside the concrete and reach to the steel part. So this is also one of the advantages of the concrete. Good resistance to the water. It can block and prevent the water to go inside the concrete. Low maintenance cost. If you have any damage in the concrete structure, you can also do the maintenance, and which is relatively cheap. So this is an introduction about concrete, what is concrete, the application of the concrete, the modern and the history of the concrete, and actually the science of the concrete. Okay, so we see you in the following session.